Today on City Cast Madison. Madison gets thousands of additional residents in August with the start of each new UW school year. And that's on top of the thousands of new neighbors moving here every year. So if this is you, welcome. Here are the things we wish someone would have told us about living in Madison. Some insider knowledge, some hot tips, and just all-around life hacks. We've got the entire City Cast Madison team here for this. Bianca Martin, Dylan Brogan, and the voice behind your Madison Minutes emails, Hayley Sperling. It's Wednesday, August 23rd. I'm your ringleader, Molly Stentz. And here's what Madison's talking about. Hello, Bianca Martin.
What? Yes, I'm so excited.
Hello, Dylan Brogan.
Hello, I'm excited, but not as excited as Bianca.
And we have someone who you might not have heard behind the mic in some time. We're welcoming Hayley Sperling.
Yay, hello. I'm so excited to be here. Hopefully just as much, perhaps more than Bianca. Let's go.
Who wants to be bold? Who's got a good hack about living in Madison? Oh, I see Bianca.
I nominate Dylan.
Ooh.
It's a quirky thing, and people who aren't from Wisconsin are sort of like, why can't you buy beer after 9 p.m.? Growing up here, I thought that was everywhere, but nope, it's for some reason, probably having to do with the Tavern League. You can't buy beer or wine after 9 p.m. anywhere in Madison except for Vic Pierce, which is just by Maple Bluff in Blooming Grove. If you find yourself in need of, it's 9 o'clock, I should have bought some beer, you can go there until midnight. They do charge you a little bit extra. So that's my first hack.
That's a classic. That's a good one.
That's excellent.
So where to buy beer in Madison after 9, Vic Pierce. All right, that is a good hack. I do feel like that is a thing that we all learn living in Madison with our weird liquor rules here. Who else has got a good tip for living in Madison?
My Madison hack is that you should always do your grocery shopping during Packer games or during Badger games. It is such a blissful experience to just walk into a pick and save and there is no one else there. I like sports. I'm a sporty gal. I played some sports at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, but I don't need to sit around and watch the television football because I've got dinner to make and I've got groceries to buy. And when you go to the grocery store during these games, it's amazing. There's no lines and everyone is very calm and happy.
It changes the Woodman experience for sure. It's much better.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I would say like if you are someone that is afraid to go to Woodman's, and I know there are a lot of those people out there, start off going by a Badger or Packer game because it will be much less crowded, much less intimidating. You can actually hear yourself think more or less, unless your carts are on the bumpy part of the floor, but it is more or less a very lovely experience.
You might actually get a cashier if you want that kind of thing.
Molly, I feel like I've heard you say this one too.
100. It is my second favorite time to shop at Woodman's. The first being like any time late at night when you can't sleep or any other time. It's like there's dudes rocking out, stocking the shelves, nobody's there, and it's just a whole different vibe.
Yeah, grocery shopping during sporting events or Woodman's after dark. Because it's just fun. It's whatever you make of it. I used to do a lot of Woodman's trips at like 10 p.m. after going to the gym. And it's just no one needs to talk to you. No one even wants to look at you. You're there to do your grocery shopping and that's it. And that's what I love.
Yeah, I just did that the other day and it was magical. And I was like, wait, where have I been?
And it's just like one of the few places that's open 24/7 in Madison, which feels like we should have more of such places by now, but we really just don't. And so, yeah, does feel like you can get more done because you're like, this is a thing I can do randomly at night.
I feel like we should say, like, talking about sporting events, if you're not from here / you haven't lived here in the fall, there's this thing that happens around campus. It's called Badger Games, and you will see floods of humans in red and white. Lots of humans. Scary. It can be a little intimidating, to be quite honest. If you don't like huge crowds and potentially, students walking in the street and just doing weird things, avoid. Maybe put on your calendar, like, look up the games, know when they are, because it's just gonna be congested. It's gonna take longer to get through town.
I hear that so hard. I am not a sporty spice girl. I just did not know when they happened until I needed to do something like, get across town and was like, no, you just like drive across university or drive across campus and then you just like hit that wall of people and you're like, this was a mistake. Why did I not realize the game was early today?
Things get wild. Things get wild on game days for sure. And if that's not your vibe, I would definitely, like Molly said, put it on your calendar and say, stay out of downtown during this time, especially stay out of the Regent Street area, stay out of Langdon Street, State Street. Pretty much all of downtown is going to be very busy during game days.
And I actually, my first hack, that wasn't my first hack, but I felt like we had to throw that one in there, is about clothing, believe it or not. A good flannel is pretty much formal attire in Madison. If you want to fit in anywhere, wear a flannel. Just like flannel, it doesn't just have to be in the fall. I don't know, it's just universal. It's a ubiquitous piece of clothing here that just Northwoods vibes. You'll be included. Like, yeah, you're one of us. You're a Madisonian. You're wearing a flannel. It's good.
When I went out on New Year's, my friends and I ended up at the Great Dane downtown, and I think every single man in there was wearing a different version of the same flannel. And I thought it was beautiful. Flannel is formal wear. Yes.
Dylan, do you agree?
I mean, I have like 4 of them right over there. So, yeah. If you're going for real quality, Pendleton.
All right, Dylan, what else you got?
Well, I fear repercussions from the Dane County Airport Commission, but if you are going on a trip or whatever and you have to go through Chicago, it makes literally 0 sense in the world to take a plane down there. Not just the cost, but there are a ton of buses that leave whenever you need to go on Van Gelder, and it's so easy, and you're not going to get trapped 2.5 hours away from home when you just want to be home after a trip. That's my recommendation. That little half-hour nonsense flight can be completely avoided by taking like a $30 bus, and they make it really easy. And so I would highly recommend that if you have to fly out of Chicago.
Agree.
I think that it's so funny you say that because I was going to say the exact opposite thing.
First of all, airports are like being in prison or jail. You can't leave. I don't like that.
But not the Madison airport.
You're right that it's more about the way home, I think, when it can get bad.
Okay, I've been dying to say this about this happened to me, and I'm like, literally no one's gonna care, and now you guys are all victim to this, but I was just at the Madison airport, and they have massage chairs, 23 minutes for $5. That's the best $5 I've spent in my life. Every time I will, so hack, build some extra time in for that 23 minutes in that massage chair.
I haven't been to the airport since they did their little, or not so little, but their really big remodel. But I'm very much team saving the environment. So yes, like take the bus if you have the time. But my issue with those situations is that it takes what should be a 2-hour, drive to Chicago into a 4-hour journey where you're waiting for other people and you have to go to so many stops and you have to deal with so many things. And it takes so long. It takes so long.
I think it is the same. You know why it takes the same amount of time? Because, okay, so you fly into Chicago. You have to wait for your little half-hour nonsense flight. So right there's going to be at least half hour, an hour. If it's delayed, you're there even longer, just stuck close to home. If it was just like walk on the plane, half hour, boom, bang. But it's not. You have to get there early. It is annoying. There's a lot of stopping, but they always get you there on time, and
those buses are amazing. Like, you do have to give them that. They are machines. Like, they have so many of them. They leave so often, and they're like, those bus drivers are just like, they are robots. They're like, we are going to get you there. There could be like boulders falling from the sky. They're like, we're going to take an exit. And there's so many of them going. They're always radioing back. So if there is traffic, it's like this whole neural network of Badger bus drivers and Van Gulder drivers getting you there. But I will say that the one counterpoint to going directly to O'Hare is going through the TSA line at Madison. Way easier than the TSA line at O'Hare. So that's the counterpoint.
Exactly. I think all of the like pre-flight situations that cause so many headaches when it comes to traveling are avoided when you go through the Madison airport. The security line is never an issue. If you do get there early, there's something to do. It's a nice place to hang out. There's really no one around. Apparently they have massage chairs.
Hot take.
Did the Dane County Airport Commission get to you? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, I'm about to do a little swirly swirl on all y'all because I have a complaint. Every single time I've gone through the Madison airport, I get checked. Every single time. The last few times I'm like, wait, like this is supposed to be the easy one. And I just don't appreciate being randomly checked. I don't know what the system is for randomly checking people, but this is that's just more of a hack. Don't be a person of color. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So airport, mixed bag. All right. What else? What else we got?
This is an actually really good hack that I did not learn until maybe last year or 2 years ago. And shout out to my friend Sarah, who works at Wisconsin Public Radio, for teaching me this. But you can avoid like all of the Ticketmaster fees for concerts and events and whatnot by going to the Sylvie or the Coliseum box offices and buying your tickets there in person. I know everyone has thoughts on this whole Ticketmaster Live Nation situation. It's not fun to, buy a $20 ticket and then suddenly it's $45 once you hit checkout. So this is a super, super fun way to actually save some money in town. The only catch is that the box office hours are very limited. And sometimes, certain shows only have a limited amount of tickets that they will reserve for the box office, which is kind of shady in my opinion. But if you plan ahead, you can actually save money with this one.
Huge. I've got a tip that is kind of like a social tip. I feel like one of the hacks for surviving in Madison and maybe in Wisconsin in general is that attitude-wise, it's not like super cool to be like boisterously showing off any like wealth. Modesty is a richness. It's like kind of built into the culture. I just think if you're not from here, that is something that I've learned over time, that it's not cool to like try to be better than someone, I guess. It's like that's not a cool thing in Madison. Like I actually think people like helping each other and like like being, thought of as like kind and considerate.
I very much agree with that. And I think people really like helping each other. And I would really even go as far to say like Madison is almost the opposite when it comes to showing off your wealth or, exuding opulence. People are much more likely to be impressed by some crazy thrift store find that you got at the Willie Street St. Vinny's than some, designer bag that you spent thousands and thousands of dollars on at some store in, Wauwatosa or something, People are always hunting for a deal here, and they love to talk about their bargains. And with that, my next hack, you can get pretty much anything you need on Hippie Christmas which I know is a bit of a controversial subject these days. The city doesn't love when you call it hippie Christmas. They don't really encourage all of the excess dumping of trash and treasure on the sidewalks. But if you are thrifty, and Madisonians are thrifty, you could furnish an entire home. You could furnish several homes in the first 2 weeks of August based on solely things you have scavenged for free on the sidewalks of Madison, Wisconsin.
It's beautiful. Molly and I found a kayak last year.
What?
It was like, what the actual heck? And we were almost, it seemed too good to be true. And we stood and waited for 10 minutes to make sure. But I'm like, no, like, I'm pretty sure whoever lived here, it was just probably easier for them to dump it somehow.
That's nuts.
It just, out on, a pile of furniture or whatever. They're giving it away.
I got a printer.
Nice.
Full on, full of ink, full of paper. And it worked, and it was wireless and like brand new. I was like, this is like my birthday. I love it. Now I have a printer.
You don't get that in printers anywhere. Like fresh out of the box, you don't even get that.
Right. I was like, I haven't had a printer in so many years, and the last one I had just sucked, and this one was actually cool. Why did anyone give it away? It works.
I found some art, and I was pretty excited about that. And I feel like I want to hear what you found, if anything, Dylan, or if you like hippie Christmas. But I also feel like it's a good hack is knowing that when hippie Christmas isn't happening, St. Vinny's on Willie Street is off the chain.
That secret is out. I would say that's a good hack. If you really want to get, Sun Prairie has a pretty good St. Vinny's.
I'd say dump and dive.
Dig and save.
Dig and save. I call it dump and dive.
You call it dump and
Dump
dive?
and dive.
Yeah, but she calls
Yes.
it dump and dive.
Not today. It's dump and dive.
It's so good, though.
I mean, how many rags do you need though? Like, that's like the bottom of the barrel.
Hey, look, you can buy stuff by the pound there.
Exactly.
It's so ridiculously cheap. Yes, you have to dig. That is the digging part. But there is so much saving to be had there. Example, St. Vinny's on Willie, like, or anything on Willie, right? Like, nice glass mason jars. They know what they got. They're like, we're going to charge you several dollars for each one because we know everybody wants these. At the Dig and Save, they're just like, whatever, a quarter. It's like a garage sale. It's perfect.
And Hayley, I have to use Hayley's word treasure because I have found some of the most magical pieces of clothing I've ever encountered, including my favorite thing I've ever worn, which my sister took without my permission. I'd never even worn it. It was so special. And she ripped it. But I still love you, Monica. And it was, y'all, a 1970s full body seafoam green sequins dress that I'm telling you, it fit me like a glove. It was disco, full arm. It was literally so beautiful. And I probably got it for $2. And I'm saying it was in great shape.
RIP to your beautiful find. Well, we're going to have to go to dump and dive sometime soon. Take a field trip so we can get some revenge out there.
Yes. All right. Well, before we wrap up, who's got any last ones? Dylan, come on.
I don't know how mine all ended up so transportation related, but they did. Okay, so if you're parking downtown, there's a new parking app that the city uses, and it's a little bit of annoying to sign up. But the real trick is when you first park the car, you do the regular thing at the kiosk in person. And then you use the app 25 minutes later, and it will let you, it basically extends your time longer than it would. Because if you just use the app and there's a 25-minute limit, it won't let you renew for another 25 minutes. So you can get 50 out of a 25-minute spot if you pay in person and then use the app. Does that make sense? The app doesn't let you go beyond 25 minutes.
Oh, so you're saying first 25 minutes you pay at the meter, second 25 minutes you pay on the app, then you get
Exactly.
double the 25 minutes. Gotcha. That is a good hack.
Because once you have the app, it's tempting just to use the app, but you shouldn't do that because you can double your time.
Ooh.
I feel like just the app is a good hack. So this is like extra.
Now, the parking utility is going to be mad at me, but that's okay.
I see the emails already.
The app is nice. I will say that. It's quite nice.
Any last parting hacks we should mention before we go? Any controversial, juicy ones?
This isn't controversial or really even that juicy, but I do find it to be quite helpful, both in the summertime and especially in the wintertime. You can cut through the state capitol building when you are downtown to get on the other side of the square. And it is such a small, easy thing, of course, when it is icy cold or stupidly hot. It is very nice to be able to just kind of cut right through everything and get to where you need to be that much faster.
Nice bathrooms, too.
Great bathrooms.
I literally was going to say that.
I love this one, Hayley. I am so glad. This is such a good one. Such a good one. Also, you can sing if you want an echo chamber, which I know people love you singing in the Capitol, but by the doors, everyone, it's a perfect
You
place
can
to
do
sing.
anything in the Capitol. My friend got married in there, they just let this stuff happen.
You cannot bring a snake or a crock pot anymore, though.
There's no fun in this town anymore.
I'm taking my snakes and my crackpot somewhere else.
Well, dear listeners, do you have a favorite hack that you would like to share about living in Madison? We know you do. Email us, madison@citycast.fm. Thank you for joining us today. Hayley Sperling, thanks for being here.
Yay. Thank you for having me. Excited to come back, hopefully sometime soon.
Yay. Dylan Brogan.
It was fun.
Bianca Martin.
It was indeed fun. Thank you.
And here's what else Madison's talking about. The heat. We're under an excessive heat warning. The National Weather Service says it could feel like it's 114 degrees outside across southern Wisconsin. The DOT says pavement could buckle. So if you need some free AC, you can always hang out at the library. They don't mind, seriously. The downtown Madison library is open till 9 o'clock on the weekdays. And please, don't leave your furry little ones in a hot car, even for just a quick trip. And look in on your neighbors, y'all. Also, did you see that our prisons are making national news? A Wisconsin Watch story about the conditions and staffing shortages at Waupun was published in the New York Times. The report shows that the prison's been on lockdown for 4 months, possibly due to lack of staff. This means no family visits, and medical care is being delayed or denied, among other things. It's worth a read. We'll throw a link in our show notes. That's all for today here on City Cast Madison. I'm Molly Stentz. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell the new kid on your block about us? We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye. Can you hear my dogs or no?